Okay, now we've completely installed the tandem bar kit. Both harnesses are installed, the spreader bar is in place. Now it's time for the pilot to get inside and put the paramotor on his back. So just make room for yourself to step between the two harnesses. And there isn't anything special here. You put the paramotor on your back as if it was a solo paramotor. Arms through there. You can do up your leg loops when you lift it up on your back, lean forward, and then just stand up. Get it comfortable, lean down, grab the leg loops. There's one. There's two. There's the safety there, goes around belly band or the waist strap, whatever you want to call it. Get comfortable. You might want to do this a couple times so that you get used to carrying the extra weight. It's a little awkward at first, but once you practice it a couple times, it's pretty easy. As the pilot, and then once you get comfortable and have the harness all set up, you should check that, make sure your leg straps are done up, the waist belly band is done up. It's time to get the passenger to get adjusted into the harness. So as the pilot, just lift up the harness to give them some room to stand right in front of the harness. So I'll ask Cyril to come over. You stand right there. You take your time, there's no rush. If this pilot has never flown before or has never put a harness on, make sure that you have an assistant to help them out with the straps. As you can see, I can't see what Cyril's doing in the front. So yeah, it's really important to have an assistant to make sure that all straps are done up in the front. Okay, now that we've got the passenger securely in the harness, you have to make sure that this belly band or waist strap is done up tight. So it's perfect, as tight as you can, because the next stage is to position the passenger all the way up to the front. Now this is the good thing about this system, is so that it allows the pilot and the passenger to run so that they're not running over each other. So if you come over here, this is where this strap comes into place. So I ask the passenger to go as far forward as possible. You wrap your hand against the strap and pull tight. And the result is lots of space between the pilot and the passenger, so that when we actually launch with the paraglider, we're not going to trip over each other. So now that we've got the passenger in place, they're as far forward as they can. We're going to do a simulation, and you do this with your passenger just to make sure the hang test is absolutely perfect. So you're going to brief and give the passenger instructions on how the actual flight is going to happen. So I want you to just pretend you're going to be running, and 3, 2, 1, we both sit, and the pilot will get comfortable. Tell the passenger to get your butt into the seat. So wiggle all the way back, and then this is a perfect opportunity to test to see if you've done the hang test properly. So the angle on the paramotor is good, the carabiners are on identical holes on either side. You confirm that the passenger is comfortable. Are you comfortable? I'm good. And that's it. So it's very important to do this step before you take any passenger for a ride using your tandem bar kit. When you're flying in the air, so let's just say we just took off, you now have the opportunity to bring the passenger closer to the pilot. So you take this, and you want to make sure you warn the passenger that you're actually going to do this, because it could be a scary feeling for the passenger. So Cyril, I'm just going to release a strap. It's going to give you a little bit of a shock. So you just slowly depress the button just like that. The passenger comes close to the pilot, making the paraglider fly better, and it's a little bit more comfortable. And you can see, again, it doesn't change the angle of the paramotor, and it's a very comfortable ride using a passenger with your tandem bar kit. So I want to show you another option that can be applied to this system, and this is the accessory right here. It's a standard footrest that RSUltra sells, and what we've done is we've connected it to the back of the passenger harness. You'll notice that Sorel is to the front of the tandem bar kit. We haven't released the side strap yet. And before you do, check this out. As the pilot, you position your feet into the foot stirrup, then you slowly release. You tell the passenger that you're going to slowly release the strap. They come back, and you're positioned just like you were before, but because your feet are in the footrest, you have the ability to push down and get above the passenger to give you a better visibility when you're flying with the passenger. So when you release, you and the passenger are together, eye to eye, and when you push on the foot strap, it gives you a better angle to see what's going on. So it's an accessory you can add to the tandem bar kit. It's not necessary, but it is nice to have to give you that better view. Okay, so I want to cover and go over one of the most important parts of flying with the tandem bar kit, and it is these concentrating on these holes here. You'll notice that there's numerous options to put the carabiner onto the spreader bar. Now, there's a couple variables that you have to take in mind. People fly with different engines. How heavy the engine is will determine how the paramotor and the tandem bar kit flies. The weight of the passenger and the weight of the pilot. So there's no set standard or position where you put this carabiner. So if I were to fly with a heavier passenger, we would have to move this carabiner more forward on the spreader bar. Likewise, if the passenger was lighter, or if I were to fly with a smaller engine, the carabiner would have to be moved back. So it is absolutely crucial that you do a hang test using the exact same weighted passenger that you're going to fly tandem with your paramotor. Okay, so we want to make sure that you set up this tandem bar correctly, and we want to emphasize the fact that you have to do up this bottom or the middle strap to the harness to the frame of the paramotor. If you don't, you can see that the angle is way off, and it will create an unsafe flying environment for both the passenger and the pilot. So make sure that you do this strap up to the frame of the paramotor, and I'll just show you what would happen if this were. It completely changes the angle on how this configuration would fly. Okay, so the last step that we want to talk about is how to land a powered paraglider using the tandem bar kit. So let's just say we're flying around regularly and it's time to come down. So you want to communicate really well with your passenger. You're going to tell them that we're going to get ready to land. And making sure that you have enough altitude, you're going to tell the passenger to get out of their harness. So just get out of your harness, Sorel. As the pilot, you do the same. Making sure you give yourself lots of time to do this in the event that the passenger is slow or they don't understand your instructions. And you just confirm, you can feel that the legs are now out of the harness. Now both the pilot and harness, or the passenger, is ready to land. You would flare just like you would flying a regular paramotor. And stand up. And there you have it. Really easy, but it's really important to communicate everything that you do flying with a passenger.